Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, always falls on the first day of the Hebrew month of Tishrei, which means that it's likely to fall sometime in the month of September. When we go back and ask the question, why is it always this day? Why was this day designated as the day to be the Jewish New Year? It actually speaks of a much larger reality that's a universal reality. So although it's a Jewish New Year, the day actually speaks of the beginning of humanity on a whole. The rabbis in the Midrash say that this is the day that humanity was created. When we look at that first week of creation, day 6 is the day humanity was created. And when we look at the sequencing of that day, Adam and Eve are created sometime, it's a Friday, they're created sometime on Friday, and that very same day that they're created, they make a really bad choice, and they eat the one fruit they're not allowed to eat and exiled out of the garden, and all of that happens before sunset. So when we go back and we look at that day, and the rabbis in the Midrash are saying, that day impacted all of creation, impacted all of humanity. It can't be reasonable that there are no echoes of that day throughout time. And the answer is there are echoes of that day. That is Rosh Hashanah. That essentially, in one of the Midrashim, God turns to Adam and says, this is the day on which you made a choice. You made a judgment call. You gained knowledge of good and evil. You expressed yourself in a way that was not the best judgment call. And therefore, to commemorate this day, every year on this day, all your children and all your descendants will likewise be held accountable for the choices they've made, the judgment calls, their exercise of free will, everything you brought into the world on this day. Adam and Eve are responsible for really setting up the Jewish New Year. And the Jewish New Year is a universal. It's an international humanitarian New Year. It essentially says all of humanity on this day has to sit and do a calculation of the choices that they've made the previous year and really do internal work about it, because today's the day where you're going to sit there and it's suddenly going to be right in front of you. The very real choices that you made, the judgment calls. Were they the best thing to be doing or not? Is that something you want to repeat or not? And those are the realities of Rosh Hashanah, is essentially to stand as a singular human being, the way Adam, the only man, and Eve, the only woman, stood as singular human beings, had to make choices, and then were held accountable for those choices. That's Rosh Hashanah. That's the Jewish New Year. It's a universal, it's about free will, it's about looking and reflecting at the choices we made, and then honestly telling and really asking ourselves, would I make that choice again? Did I do the right thing now that I'm sitting and reflecting on it? It's a reflection on the year that was, so that it becomes a projection of the choices we're going to make.